everyone, welcome to the second game of Your Best Game. This is our next chapter, our next video, and this is your host, the International Master, András Tóth. Today a dude from Ecuador called Warlord of Chess sent me in a game to share it with you guys on the channel. He's approximately 1900 rated on chess.com in Blitz, but this game was actually not played on that server. He played it somewhere else, and he claimed that it was probably something that I would like to share with the public on this channel. So let's have a look at this magnificent creation by none other than Warlord of Chess. So he kicked off the game with b3 as per shown on the screen, e5 and bishop b2. So we are into the last and opening or last and defense. Knight c6, e3, perfectly legal and logical moves. The logical needs to be emphasized because we will be lacking that very soon. d5 and Queen e2. Alright, Warlord of Chess of course does know that theory here is bishop b5 with pressure on the e5 pawn, and there could be actually quite wild complications very soon after something like bishop d6 and f4, which is theory with massive pressure along the long diagonal, but that is not what Warlord of Chess had in mind. He thought that he would put Morphy and his ideas into the rubbish bin right away about development and center, and played queen e2, thereby announcing a quick queenside castling strategy, if you can call it that. Knight f6, knight c3, bishop g4. Well, knowing what happened in the game, black is already asking for trouble, but that's of course just a joke. Playing f3 is actually not against what white wants to do, because it's going to help him to extend later on in the king side. Bishop dropped back and queenside castle, so we are ready to rock and roll, says Warlord of Chess. Bishop c5, knight a4. Yeah, not quite sure about that one either. Bishop b4 and g4. Here comes the hack. Now, sensible moves in this position would be castles, or queen up followed by queenside castle, just to somehow make this whole kingside attack a little bit preemptive. Anyway, castles is what happened, and now Warlord of Chess is in the driving seat. g5 back and h4, pretty much like an English attack, except that the dudes on the king side are not exactly very happy about the current state of the game, but that is not a problem, because here comes Anonymus to support this kingside attack by playing h6, which deserve 2 question marks, but I don't want to be cruel, so I'm going to remove that now, because without our opponent's mistakes we never ever make a masterpiece or create a masterpiece. So let's just say that he got a bit scared, and so he decided to, I don't know, go forward. I guess that's a good way to put it. But he was actually smart, because after takes he pushed through to g6, so he wanted to avoid opening up the king side. Well, that's exactly what he did, but the intention was right, so let's give credit where credit is due. And from here on, actually, Warlord of Chess launches a very impressive attack. Bishop h3. Now the threat is to take on e6, and that will leave the g6 pawn isolated and very weak, so black decided to swap, and of course now the knight is going to develop to the rim. Once again, the Morpheus rules can be observed here beautifully with 2 knights on the rim, but funnily enough the knight on h3 doesn't stand too badly, because it can go to g5 and attack the black king. Right, but now white is significantly better, by the way, because of the damaged king side, and as I said, from here on the attack is rather impressive. So watch. King h7, just to make sure that knight g5 comes with a check. f4, targeting the center, opening up or trying to open up the long diagonal, as well as opening up this diagonal for the queen. So now pawn h5 is on the agenda as well. Well played, Warlord of Chess, bring it on. f6, another help move really, because now that makes the g6 pawn a soft spot, and Warlord of Chess, who I said now is really attacking quite well, immediately exploited it by playing h5. And the rest of the game is really just a whitewash, but it's worth watching because the end will be very spectacular. So let's go. Takes on g6. opening up all the possible files. King takes, and now of course Anonymus would like to run away with his king towards the center, where he will still be totally dead, but at least not mated right away. But Warlord of Chess wanted to have none of that and unleashed the amazing Queen h5 check, and that does deserve these 2 exclams. Beyond that, because look at what a beauty. Fantastic queen sacrifice, all the more so because he's sacrificing his queen on an empty square, which is always a move that is harder to find. Now there is no dilemma here as to what to do for black, as king g7 would allow mate in 1 in the shape of rook dg1, so he had to take the queen. And then rook dg1 again is the move that cuts off the king along the g file. There is no way that this king can escape. Oopsie, I just rubbed out my arrow. Okay, we'll draw it back. Oops. There we go. A spectacularly colorful chessboard. And now the very nasty threat is actually knight f2 mate, which is incredibly hard to stop, in fact impossible. The only way to delay the mate is to play f5, but of course it was followed by knight f2 check. Jeez, I can't speak, I'm so amazed by this mate. And after queen g5 it was very easy for Warlord of Chess to find the mate in 2 that finished this fantastic masterpiece. Check. The queen can't take because of the pin, and after king h6, rook takes h4 put the icing on the cake. A lovely checkmate, a very nice finish of this somewhat eccentric but really cool game. So thanks a lot again, Warlord of Chess, for sending it in. Good on you, buddy. I'm proud of you for your great effort, as well as for the guts of sending in your own creation, and I would like to encourage everybody else to do so, because this is how this channel is going to build up and blossom. Speaking of building the channel, I'm planning, by the way, on including a webcam so that you can see my ugly face as well while I'm analyzing these beautiful games. So once again, thanks for sending in the game Warlord of Chess, and thanks a lot guys for watching. I will be back with the next one soon. Thanks.